Everyone, this is Sam Create the Heart, and I am here today to share the stamp and die of the month from the Not Too Shabby shop. This is called Pick Me Up. It's really cute pickup truck. You get two pickup trucks in there. One has little pumpkins, perfect for fall. The other one has a tree, which would be great for winter and the holiday season. The little smaller stamps fit into the back of the truck, like for sentiments. And the die cuts out the trucks as well as the Christmas tree and the sentiments. I'm also using some Halloween release products from Not Too Shabby shop, Cute and Pink, which is just this adorable pink and orange collection, as well as some pieces from the matching ephemera. It's Halloween, but it's also great for fall. So what we're going to make today is we're going to make kind of a Z-fold pop-out card. I think there's probably an official name for it. What you're going to need is a piece of paper that measures 11 by 4 1/4, and then you're going to score at 5 1/2, which are fold in half, and then you're going to fold one half again on one side, which is 2 3/4, and you're going to fold that back. And then you're going to need a second piece of paper that measures 11 by any size you want. I think mine's 11 by 3, and you're going to score at 5 1/2 and fold that in half, and then score at 2 3/4 and fold that back. And so that's going to get attached to the front of your card, and it's going to create that kind of pop out mechanism. So I've got all of my paper for my matting cut out, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Barely Arts glue. You can see one side of that paper is a little bit more Halloween, but then we've got this more subtle gray paper, which is what I'm using to cover some of the front of my card. So I'm just gluing all of those panels, and I think that's 2 3/4 by 4 1/4, those two panels right there. And then I'm going to cover the rest of my card, and I'm using the pumpkin paper, and that paper kind of fits my little fall theme. It's not too Halloween, so I think it's perfect. So I've got those pieces there. And then this last panel, most of it's going to get covered up with that other pop-out mechanism, so I just cut out strips, and that will cover that there, and it enables me to use up some scrap and not have to cut into a full piece of paper. So that's just a little trick, because it's going to get covered up. So that one piece, the smaller piece, is going to fit on the back, and then the larger piece is going to get glued to the front. And I just make sure that I'm covering up that blank space. And then I've got some glue for the front. And now my panel is done. So now it's time to decorate. So the way that I am decorating, I'm using the tree die. So I stamped the trees and then cut them out. So I think I stamped it with candy corn ink from Tailored Expressions. And then I used the orange paper in that Cute and Pink, and it matched it almost perfectly, actually. And I just cut it out with the die. So the die does cut out like a silhouette of trees. So if you wanted to do that, you absolutely could. The tree stamp kind of gives it a little bit more dimension, but you could do it either way. So that's kind of nice. And then I'm kind of stacking the trees, like my trees don't fit all the way across. I'm doing 2 layers of trees, and once I put everything down, you're not really going to notice too much that the trees are, cut apart. But I'm doing the 2 layers of trees. and the other two are going to go somewhere else, these other little parts. So I'm going to glue that down. So make sure you visit all of the stops along the hop. There's not too many. And leave a comment, let us know you were there. And then when you're done, go ahead and go fill out the Rafflecopter. There's a bunch of things you can do to get different entries into the drawing. And then Jamie will pick a winner to win, I think it's a $25 gift card to the Not Too Shabby shop. So what I did with these pumpkins is I cut them right out of the paper, the scrap paper that I had, and I'm going to be using those as decoration for around my pickup truck. And the pickup truck is colored with Copics. I did a little bit of stickling on the license plate, and so I really like how it came out. I colored it in pinks and in oranges. So I've got those little pumpkins. They blend very nicely. And they're just gonna go on either side of my pickup truck. So I've got my pickup on foam, and I'll put that down. Now we're getting ready to decorate a little bit of the inside. So the inside, I'm going to be using those leftover pieces that I've got of my trees, and I'm going to do a similar technique where I kind of do 2 layers. I kind of stack them. This die, I think, really works nicely, I think, when you kind of stack it. You know, give it a little extra dimension. And so I'm going to go ahead and lay those down. I'm using my Barely Arts glue, and I got 2 pumpkins from the matching Cute and Pink ephemera. So I kind of picked the smaller ones because there's some gigantic pumpkins in there, but I picked some smaller pumpkins, one in orange and one in pink, just to match. And I really do like how they work for this card. Just kind of tying everything together. And then I've got my sentiment, which I have that on a piece of foam tape, and I use the die to cut it out. And just thought I could use a little pickup, and we open it up and you get that little sort of popping out feature. And just a really easy, fun fold. So now we're going to make a second card. So this card, you need a piece of 2 pieces of cardstock. One that measures, I think it measures 4.5 by 11, and you score it at 2 3/4, 8.5, and 5.5. And then you fold the middle down like a, is it a mountain, I guess? And then the other 2 are going to fold up like valley. And then you're going to need a second piece of paper that measures 2 3/4 by 7. And so it took me a second to figure out exactly how to fold it, because it was like I have the fold of the paper, that middle fold should be to your left. So, and that 2 3/4 by 7 paper, you are going to actually score in half, so 3.5. It's going to be scored in half. So I'm trying to figure it out. So there, I finally got it correct. I think, am I getting it correct? So, it took me a second. There we go. That's kind of how it's supposed to fold. So, the middle fold is supposed to be to the left. There we go. And that's kind of how it's supposed to be. So it took me a second to kind of remember exactly, because it could be confusing. There's so many folds. So the middle fold is to your left, and then that other paper goes on the right. So kind of making sure that I don't forget. And then I'm still using the Cute and Pink paper. And so I'm using the pink, and I don't know, I just really like this paper. So I haven't even used it yet for Halloween, but I'm definitely going to be using it. It's going to be a pink Halloween this year. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my panels down, and I'm going to be doing, I believe it's 4 panels all the way across of this pink and black paper. You can see how cute the other side is, very Halloween. She sold out of the paper like super fast, and I know she's getting more because this Halloween release was fantastic. I got most of it. I just haven't had a chance really to play with it because I've had a lot of other projects, and I've been really busy at work. So, and I started Pilates, so I've just been busy. But I really try to get into my craft room a couple times a week. But yeah, I'm going to start working on some Halloween projects very soon. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this last panel using my Barely Arts glue, and so that's down, and set that aside. And now I'm going to cover up the other panel. And so what I did there is the strip that I had of that kind of diamond paper wasn't quite big enough, so I used a strip of scrap, of orange scrap that I had, to make it a little bit bigger. And you know, I'm always trying to use up my scrap. And then I've got that piece right there. It fits very nicely. And so I'm going to put that panel. So all of my panels are now covered. Everything's matted. And so this is just a kind of a similar type of a Z-fold, only it pops out a little bit differently, but you still kind of have that pop out feature. So you can see on top there how that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and attach those panels. So one gets attached to the front, one gets attached to the back. And just a really easy way to get a little bit of dimension, do something a little bit different with your card making. I mean, I do a lot of A2 size cards, and so it is definitely nice to do some fun folds. I do a lot of fun folds too, because I really do like them. And so I'm going to put this part down, and make sure that glue sticks. And now that card is ready to be decorated. So I'm going to be decorating it, of course, with a pickup truck. And I colored my pickup truck just a bit differently this time. I kind of reversed my colors a little bit, but I did some an orange pickup truck with pink pumpkins. And then I did a little bit of stickles on the pumpkins, which you might not be able to see. And I'm using another pumpkin from the ephemera pack, just for some decoration, and I do love those little pumpkins. And then I've got my pickup truck on some foam. And then the inside of the card, I'm using another piece of ephemera, this banner. Which I'm going to attach right there. And then I have my sentiment. Make sure that you don't forget to visit everyone on the Hop to get lots of ideas. Go to the Not Too Shabby shop. You can use the link in my description to get to the shop to pick this really cute stamp set up. Thank you so much for watching. This is Cindy with Crane with the Heart.